I can be like, listen, you know how much I point out the negativity in what I see today, but I can also appreciate the good things and the sacrifices that our forefathers did to make the country. Hey, even the founding fathers had negatives that we can look at, or they may even have did what they did, made the sacrifice, did for bad reasons, but they still did it. There's still principles to be learned and to be proud of. We just got to carry it forward and change and make it better. Welcome back to the Josh Attack Show, everybody. I'm your host, Josh, joined once again by Nick, JC right there, Nick right there, assuming that this is going to get posted exactly the way it is right now. And Kyle may join us later. Today, on this riveting episode, for at least another hour, because JC has told us he's got to bounce. I don't know why I keep looking up in the corner. I don't have my camera there at all. There's nothing there. I'm just little behind the scenes. We're going to talk a little bit more about socialism and hopefully give some examples about how it could work or how it would work and things like that. And just kind of, I don't know, ruminate a little bit more on the ideals and stuff like that. But before we get started, we're going to start something new, and that is a little theme music for us.
This is great. I love it.
Yeah. I got a bunch of new settings in here, so I apologize to the crowd. You're going to hear a lot of random clapping, and JC's going to say something, and I'm going to be like,
classic.
And
oh my God,
that's needed.
So sorry for anybody else who's going to be just listening to this and not watching it, because they're going to miss all. They're just going to hear and be like, why are they doing that? But anyway, yeah, so that's what we're going to do for our show. I've got some elements that I'm going to introduce for the first time and hopefully make it a standard. So one of those elements that we're going to start off with today is called the Rapid Fire Roundup, in which case we're going to take quick, maybe 10, 15 minutes and just talk about current things that are going on right now that happened recently and kind of, just give our thoughts on. I thought I would start off. I know Nick is going to bring up one here in a little bit. I'll let Nick, you bring up what you brought up earlier.
All right.
But I'll start off with the war is back as of this morning.
No.
Oh, dang it. I forgot. See, I need to get an assistant over here to do this. Yes. War is back. And we love the war, right? It's great. Gas prices are
It's a big, beautiful
going back
war.
up again. Thank you. You're gonna be like, no, I gotta take those buttons away from me. You can no longer be in charge of the sound.
You're not allowed to drive anymore. Fuck.
I mean, did we ever think the war was actually over? Like, we all knew it was going to come back.
Honestly, it felt like he was further away from it.
Huh?
And I thought, okay, not saying benevolent, but rational minds were in the room discussing things that need to be discussed. Because, I mean, the economy's fucking gonna tank again but then he just, tit for tat warfare.
Yeah.
I don't know who struck what. I know it's on the news. But I do know, whether or not that happened, the leader of one opposition to another shouldn't classify the other group as scum.
Right. If you're wanting to get people to the table, it kind of.
And then he just says it's not going to happen. And what do you think that's going to do to any economy when you say it's not going to work? I don't think they're going to do it. I'm not going to do it. They're scum. Like,
yeah.
We finally had gotten gas prices down to nearly what they were prior to his fuck up, aka letting Iran or Israel the state, not the people,
Whatever.
push him into this war just because the Epstein files. I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, I just thought it was stupid, and I had a glimmer of hope that saner minds were at the wheel for a moment,
Mhm.
and stupid me.
I'll give a quick clarification just because I was reading and watching my news channels today about it. I guess apparently Iran, you could say initiated it in the sense that they struck up to 5 different vessels transitioning. And that's what got the administration to be like, all right, now we're going to retaliate against that. But what is also true is that in the MOU, they said, and it was written out there for the world to see, we're not going to take a toll and collect money for boats passing through, but we will control who passes. They have to talk to us.
Okay,
They have to
sure.
communicate. And I guess we've kind of understand from a power standpoint, it makes sense of we do not want them to have that power because that just signals to everybody, hey, they control the strait. Yeah, they're not charging
Yeah,
people, but they
I mean,
control who goes and that gives them
yeah, I mean,
leverage. So the administration did not want that to happen. So we have been telling other boats, ignore them, turn your transponders off, go this way. We'll protect you. We didn't to these 5 vessels, one of which was a vessel that was owned by Oman, or the country on the other side that had actually agreed to work with them and has actually kind of been allied with them this whole time.
LA with Iran.
Yeah, with Iran and everything. So like they were on good terms and somewhat good. I mean, as good terms as you can be in a
Decent terms, we'll call.
yeah. So they're pretty much like, no, if you try to pass us by, we said in the MOU, we are controlling it. You're not taking that away from us. And so it's kind of a situation of that is something that should have been clarified. And before our guys came back and presidents said, hey, we're pieces now there's an MOU, should have decided and been like, hey, this is how this works. Instead of being like,
Yeah.
when we say that it's open, that means anybody can go. Whereas when you say it's open, you control it. We're just going to figure that out later. Nah, that should have been figured out.
Bad fine print that should have been dealt
Should have
with
been
prior
clarified.
to.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be an asshole about this. I'm anti-American or anything like that. But as a sovereign nation who has a natural resource such as that, I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot,
Oh,
like
we would have
we would have
100%.
felt the same,
I mean, we started at the beginning of the war, Trump himself saying, we'll put a toll and make money off this. He backed away from that, but he did vocally say, hey, we'll tax boats coming through. So JC, Josh, any before I move on to the next rapid fire?
A couple days ago, while it was still a ceasefire and presumably we're pulling out,
America doesn't pull out.
I saw Fox News. Well, they also don't tell the truth because I saw Fox News' headline and it was like Trump's war in Iran shows that we're the most powerful country, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like that kind of showed that we are highly incompetent. I don't really think that showed what you think it showed. It's just like a reality that's next to ours.
Correct.
Not to be too much on a tangent. One, when talking about Fox, quote unquote, news, I like to make sure that everybody knows they're in an entertainment station, not a news network. So let's not confuse the two. And two, I mean, we had a system in place. Like Obama had a treaty that was working just fine prior to this. America had the better end of the deal.
It was a bad deal. It was the worst deal.
And now things have gotten from, all right, well, that's a deal, to what the fuck are we doing? And the world
I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
So, I mean, We can rapid fire move on.
Yeah, rapid fire.
That
move on.
That was rapid fire number one. Second part, which I don't know how much you guys follow it because it's not your states or our state. I forget. Yeah, both in Georgia. Graham Plattner
Fuck him.
situation has imploded, to say the least. That
Yeah, no, I've been watching a lot of World Cup, and I'm sure we're gonna get to that in a little bit.
that was going to be
And
my next thing.
But so you watch the World Cup, and it's only on Fox. So like as soon as the World Cup game is off, Sinclair News comes on, with their own agenda, and they throw me that, and I'm just like, one, I don't do the guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, sure, I guess morally, yeah, we should get rid of him. Like, he shouldn't be on the ticket. But then again, isn't that like a prerequisite for all you fuckers? Like,
yeah.
don't come at me with this like, oh, the Democrats have to be morally superior, and
Correct.
whatever a Republican does, like, God forbid you don't forgive their past sins.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I'm sorry. Just
he
needs to step off, and fuck the Sinclair News.
No, definitely needs to step aside. I hate to see it because I did like what he was at least standing for, representing. But it also doesn't surprise me knowing what I know about him. He was on a redemption arc, kind of thing. And, but he admittedly still does have an alcohol problem. And, I seeing the details of what it was, I'm like, I could name 20 different people that I've come across in my life who could have drunkenly made similar mistakes and should be punished just like he is. But
yeah.
I hate what I don't want to see, and I think is what's going to happen, is that the establishment Democratic Party is going to use it they are currently trying to use it as an example to say, hey, his type of politics, more populism, socialism style, that's got to go. That's dangerous, which is what they've already started.
I mean, yeah, of course,
Sure.
Republican Light's going to say that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was.
Okay, yeah. So he had a neo-Nazi tattoo that he got covered up. I understand that people.
So does most Marines, but
I understand that people can change over time. I saw like a short, I don't know if it was a documentary or a news segment about a guy who was in the military, got out. Obviously this is around the Afghanistan war.
Yeah.
And so it's very anti-Muslim. He goes into being a member of the KKK, and I don't remember what his turning point was, but he slowly pulled away from that and realized his mistake, and now he's on the opposite side, where
Correct.
he's possibly like Plattner trying to like atone for past sins.
Yep.
But yeah, if you're like, yeah, I'm going to permanently put a neo-Nazi symbol on yourself, get the fuck out. Right off the rip. And then obviously if you're going to essay someone, I think that goes from you're trying to better yourself to unredeemable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The essay was fairly recent. I'm sorry.
Correct. 5 years ago.
That's like
that's
part of
like it wasn't like when you were 18 and you were like,
even then,
part of a redemption arc.
What's that? So even then, it doesn't matter.
Correct.
He needs to be punished. He needs to be like, even if
there should be atonement.
Right. If he can't be tried, like, he needs to just get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah.
And I don't need to see his ass. Because that's staying consistent with. Oh, shit. I'm spacing on his name. The one Supreme Court justice who.
Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, he should be a fucking justice for exactly the same reason. I don't give a shit if you can't be tried for it. Fuck you. You don't represent anyone. You don't. You're not worthy.
A side little thing here. One of the women that accused Graham was also a defendant of Kavanaugh when his court stuff was going on. Yeah, she's all in politics. She's actually a
Well, that feels
she's
fishy.
one
I'm just gonna say that.
she's one of the people. When her thing came out, it was kind of like this was a hit piece thought, but then the newest one is like, okay, yeah,
I think I
this
vaguely
happened.
remember that. That's why nobody really took it too
Correct,
seriously at
'cause
first. Yeah.
the most recent one wasn't the first thing that came out. It was somebody else first, and that one was like, wait, you're working for the opposition, and you've been known to do it anyway. But
You know what? And maybe he didn't do it. Maybe this is all a smear piece. But even Nixon knew when to fucking back off.
correct. And the thing
Yeah,
is,
you know, like,
if you're doing a redemption arc, a redemption story, if you're doing atonement, if you're doing, hey, I'm trying to make my life better before getting into politics, which is what he says he's been doing for the past 5 years, is before even the political stuff is, I moved back to Maine, been trying to get my life right. I realized I've had all these problems. He didn't say what they were, but he said that there was stuff there. Part of that story should be, and I'm staying out of politics because to make myself better, it's not to get into the cesspool of
serve your community
political
and be
offices.
invisible.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. Because obviously those women are, I mean, even the newest, the current one that's the big one, the for sure one from what I've seen, she's not going to the police and she has no intention to. She doesn't want to take him to court, and she just wants people to know who this guy is.
I mean,
so
to be fair, like, I don't mean to be weird about it, but like how often do these cases in any stage, any economic, when does it ever go in the women's favor? Like, it's always
correct.
a very,
That's true.
so like, you know what? If this is her recourse, I mean, I don't want to be some weird, political defendant. Like, hey, yeah, well, she doesn't want to go to the police because she doesn't have anything. No, because it's a hard fucking trial that never fucking, 0 times for the most part does it ever go in the woman's favor. Like,
Yeah.
do you have any evidence? No. I was scared shitless. It was fucking terrifying, and I just wanted to get out, and I was ashamed, so I didn't tell anybody, and now it's too late to have evidence. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wish we lived in a society where the survivors felt comfortable and confident enough to stand up against the aggressor.
Yeah.
I also want to link in terms of consistency. I've seen a lot of, I was curious what was going to happen after the news came out about Plattner. And for the most part, people are being pretty consistent and being like, he needs to step down. He needs to drop it. This is consistent with how when the Epstein files were unveiled and Noam Chomsky's name was in there.
Correct.
And Noam Chomsky is like a big leftist figure. He writes a lot. And he was pretty much like dropped immediately. And there's like a YouTuber I watch who was just like, oh, I fucking love Noam Chomsky. I would quote him. And then this dropped. And then it's like,
nope.
Damn, bruh.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And this is the opposite of what we see when it comes to holding people accountable who are in the Epstein files and who are heads of our current government.
Right.
Correct.
I mean, Pam Bodney was like, yeah, if we actually charge everyone, the system falls apart.
Maybe it should.
And I'm fine with
Good.
Speaking of falling apart. No. We're moving on. Rapid fire.
You're 100%. Go. Do it.
Speaking of falling apart, how about USA versus Belgium?
I was, you know what? I
didn't watch the game, so
it's called football, you stupid Americans.
I watched the football game. And all I got to say is, you play a bad game, you're going to get a bad result. This team was doing very well. They did capture our, our hearts and minds.
Yeah.
We thought maybe this is the team that turns it around. And I don't know what happened other than
Oh, I can tell you
what's
what
his
happened.
face?
It's the same thing that happened Game 3, Knicks versus the Spurs. Trump showed up,
Yeah, there you go.
except they didn't have 7 games to win it back. It was a
Uh,
knockout round, so cost them.
so the red card situation. One, I was watching that previous
Yes,
game when it
thank you.
happened.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
I don't like what's going on with the video review.
Oh yeah, the
I feel like
VAR thing. Yeah,
you can't go from no call to watching the VAR to like a red card. I think
yeah.
that's insane. I'm sorry, like if you didn't see it on the field, okay, we can go to VAR, but the max at that point is a yellow card.
And this is the first tournament that this has ever been used, correct? Or
I guess so. Yeah,
because it's the first time I've
World
kind of
Cup,
seen it. Not that I'm a big
first
soccer
World
person,
Cup.
but yeah,
So I think there's got to be some recalibration with that.
gotcha.
Because it wasn't a red card. I'm sorry, and I think everybody agrees with it.
Correct.
And I think everybody was pretty heartbroken with the fact that, like, okay, so he was out of the game for the rest of the game. Okay, but they're gonna look at it and go, no, it doesn't
No,
deserve a
overturn
red
it.
card. Like,
Yeah,
we'll reinstate it. Like, he can play the next game. We thought there would be like a legit appeal process, and that made sense to me. But they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. And then next thing you know, Trump made a call, and now it's gonna. It wasn't that he was cleared of the red card. It's just that we're gonna postpone the red card, from what I
right.
gather.
For the
I'm like,
next
what
World
that?
Cup.
I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong, like, so I think
And apparently France is now, or there's been other countries, France being the most recent one, have also, their presidents have reached out, been like, hey, if American can get away overturning stuff, we want that done for our player too.
so. It was a bad call. It's been bad call after bad call,
Yeah,
but that's FIFA. It's a corrupt system, and
it
they
has
really
always
should be
been.
looked into. So Belgium went in with a fire under there. They were fucking pissed, and rightfully so.
Correct.
I don't know what happened with America. They lost the game before they even started. Like they came out flat-footed to a team that was mad and hungry,
Hmm.
and the result was exactly what you should expect from something like that. And I'm not anti-Belgium. I thought their little reverse this call little joke on their social media was pretty hilarious. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I'm gonna continue to watch the World Cup. It was
Who are you
pretty
pulling for?
down.
Or
So
Norway?
Cape Verde, did you watch that game?
No, I've
Oh
actually
my
not watched a single game because of
Oh
all
my
the
God.
streaming services that I do. Fox Sports is the only one that I don't have. And
Oh,
every time I go to try to watch it, I can watch it on Paramount Plus because I have that, but it's Telemundo, so it's in Spanish the whole time. Goal! And that's all I can do. That's all I can handle.
so
So I'm like,
Cape Verde was this country off of these islands
yeah,
west of Africa, which, from what I gather, wasn't even inhabitable for ever. And then the Portugals found it, and then they brought like just a lot of cross shifting with the trade of
sure,
slaves and humans and
yeah.
whatever. So it's a population of less than 500,000 people,
Hmm.
and they took the defending World Cup champs Argentina down to the wire, and it was the most spectacular game you would have imagined. And I've never rooted for a team that I've never heard of their country more in my life. Uh, I'm not even anti Argentina. Like, it just they had Cape Verde had a story, and it was great.
Right.
So from what I gather now, I didn't really watch anything or checked up today, so that was pretty busy. Um, but France and Spain, they're probably heading to a semifinal. It's going to be pretty
France
epic.
is who I picked to win it in the very
I mean,
beginning
dude,
when I did a bracket.
well, France has been good for the past five
They
World
play
Cups.
as a very well-oiled team. That's
Yeah,
they're best. They're the best team. Now you
yeah.
got other countries like Argentina. You got Messi, and you got superstars on other teams, but they're the best team that's flowing together right now. But I mean,
If you forced me to put
Norway, I
money
like the
on, I would
Vikings. I like Vikings.
the Viking Row. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
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 But if I had to put money down, it'd probably be France.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be what?
France
France.
winning.
I mean,
Vive la
if it's
France.
not France, it's because Spain beat them, and then it'll probably be Spain.
Yeah. Well, maybe France will come back and get revenge and for us and beat Belgium as revenge for them beating the States. And it'll be just
wouldn't
like
hate if
them.
Belgium won.
It'll be just like France showing up to help us beat the British back for.
Oh yeah, the Brits won a big game in Mexico against Mexico.
Yes, I
It
was trying to
pretty
refer to our
Yeah,
independence.
yeah, you
the
did.
French
You did.
showing
I'm
up,
sorry.
but
Fran-
I kind of trailed off there. I was like,
they
what am
gave
I?
us a really pretty statue.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
So you wanted to bring up as our last rapid fire point, America 250.
Yeah. America 250. One, I feel like our podcast here could be misconstrued sometimes as anti-America. I think me personally, I think Josh and Josh feel the same way. Like, we're not anti-American. We don't hate the country we live in. We don't hate the people we live around. Um, we celebrate this country. I celebrated 4th of July with the fireworks and all that jazz. I watched a lot of World Cup soccer for America. I think it's easy for people to say, like, you can look at heroes that fight for a thing, and that's easy. It's easy to point out those heroes. But I'm not saying that we're heroes, but it's more difficult to sometimes fight within. To say, I'm fighting for ourselves. Like, I think we could do better as a country to live up to the ideals that I think we all try to aspire to. Like, I think, you and I, we all see the country sometimes go down a different path than what we think this country was founded on. And it's the freedoms and these ideals of democracy that we hold and we cherish. And we mock what's happened in this country because they're so far against what we were taught
Correct.
were free and democratic things.
Yeah.
And sometimes our thoughts and ideas might not sound as quote unquote American to you, but just because we have different ideas of how things should be governed doesn't mean we dislike this country.
I was taught from an early age and raised, and I'm sure you've all heard the term, the great American experiment, and at some point people forgot that the experiment continues.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing. It didn't stop when a certain person became president. It's like, all right, we reached the max. Nothing else can change except what we want. No, the experiment is figuring out new things that work to make it better for everyone. And people forget that. I'll say that I did my usual 4th of July, grilling, cooking, things like that. I made my Facebook post and conversations with my family saying that exact same thing. Hey, we can all find the good things and we should celebrate that, but also don't be afraid to point out the bad and the negative and try to make it better. That's the thing. And one of the things I did this year that I was unable to do last year was that me and Landon watched The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Fun
and
one.
Landon, he has picked up a lot of what me and Devin, he hears us talk about. He picks up what he hears me and you guys talk about. And he, a lot of times, because he doesn't know how to temper, the conversation, he just says what's something. And a lot of times he'll say something that is very like he would almost say, hey, you're anti-American, I hate America. No, you don't, buddy. You don't hate America. You hate the situation that you just heard about on the news and you're wrapping it all together. So it was a good movie for him to watch and then us discuss, because I can be like, listen, you know how much I point out the negativity in what I see today, but I can also appreciate the good things and the sacrifices that our forefathers and people did to make the country. That, hey, even the founding fathers had negatives that we can look at, or they may even have did what they did, made the sacrifice for bad reasons, but they still did it. There's still principles to be learned and to be proud of. We just got to carry it forward and change and make it better.
Yeah, I don't hate America, but I do spend most of my time criticizing it.
Right.
And I think there's something about I think there's something about Nick kind of touched on where, like, yeah, you're kind of grown up. You grow up and you're told what the ideals of this country is: freedom and liberty and democracy and this and that. And I also grew up Christian, so I was, told to love everyone and treat everyone like your neighbor, treat other people as you would have them treat you. And then, like, I got older, and for some reason, I'm in complete disagreement with the people who keep saying these things, and I'm trying to act those things.
Correct.
And so the way that, if America's gonna, like, stand for all these things, I'm like, don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah.
And if they're gonna talk out of one side of their mouth and then do the opposite, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
I mean, if we didn't care, we wouldn't be talking about it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, we are the ones critiquing it because we care that much. I don't want to be an asshole, but that's what we're doing. We're critiquing because we do care.
Yeah.
It's easy to blindly follow. Like, that's fucking simple. Fucking sheep can do that.
Yeah.
I'm not calling everybody sheeple, but it's just,
you sheepdog.
Yeah, we're so critical because we care that much.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see me complain about what's going on in any other part of the country or any part of the world. Like, I'm sure Congo has its own problems, but I'm not critiquing those ones because for the most part, I don't care. It's not my realm of care. I'm sorry.
I guarantee any self-proclaiming MAGA, American flag loving, Trump loving, whatever they say they are, when there's a pothole in their street, they won't shut up and complain about that needs to get fixed. They're not going to just say it one day and then move on and be like, well, that's just
we gotta pay some random private organization umpteen.
No, they're going to complain about it and criticize it like they should. So
I will end with this one. Happy birthday, America, 250. And anybody that was afraid to celebrate America's independence, 4th of July, because you thought it might be a conservative holiday, I want you to remember that this is the day we decided to be less conservative than any other time in our nation's history. We literally said, fuck you to a king. We said, fuck you to the establishment. We made our own way. This is a liberal holiday, so you should enjoy it.
And that, everybody, is Rapid Fire Roundup. Thank you, guys. I thought that first one went through pretty well. So
it was a half an hour, not 15.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna fix the time. We're gonna fix the time in the future. We'll figure this out. All right, so we're gonna jump around a little bit compared to what I had earlier said, and we're gonna go to our next section because this is gonna flow into our main topic before Josh falls asleep on us.
I'm doing okay right now.
And this is the helping the boomers section. So this is we're gonna help some boomers out. And this section is where I took some Facebook posts of some boomers that that follow me. I took their names out. Who's Nick talking to? A boomer?
Give me the damn
I
phone.
know he's not.
Well,
Mute yourself, Nick, when you're not talking
no,
to
she
us.
wants me to read this to you. You didn't want to talk about the insurance stuff, but okay.
Oh, is it Tiff?
Yeah. I criticize America because I love her. I want her to stand as a moral example to the world. Martin Luther King Jr.
Who was that guy? No, I'm kidding. I know.
Yeah, he.
Very true. I mean, that's, again, those are the ideals.
You can edit that in.
Well, yeah, she should have brought that up during the rapid fire
That's what I was
roundup.
trying to say.
Yeah, she missed her opportunity.
That's what this was all about.
Yeah, we moved on to the boomer help. Come on, Tiff. We're helping boomers now. So yes, I've taken some other Facebook posts, screenshot them, took the name out, but I thought we could get some reactions. And the first one I'm going to show is about America, 4th of July, 250.
funny.
So I thought we'll start it. And then the second one will lead into our main topic. So let's see how this works here. Oh, good. It's perfect. I did gray it out. That's perfect. Got nervous there for a second. Might have shared the wrong one.
John Smith. Jeez,
All right.
man.
Do you appreciate your ancestors being compared to the migrants of today? Me neither. Our ancestors settled on undeveloped land and built a civilization. They loved our country, fought for our freedom, and made the history that should be taught and studied today. Our ancestors didn't sneak in and demand welfare and American privileges while hating our country. No, our ancestors loved America, and I do too. So that one got passed around a lot on the
I
4th.
want them to read the book, The Wordy Shipmates. Migrants. Why is that a bad word? I'm sorry. Wasn't Jesus a migrant? Like,
Yes.
he wasn't. We're not even talking about the whole, Mary and Joseph story going. We're talking about like they moved to Egypt because their son was hunted down because
Correct.
he was going to be the Messiah. Like he was a refugee. Like your
That's
Messiah
only
was
in
a
one of the
refugee.
books, I think.
Well, they read them all and they think they know it all.
Yeah, I believe we need Kyle in here to clarify, but I believe
Yeah,
I
we
believe
need
it is
an
in 2 of the books, but one of them says they were gone for like
Okay,
they left.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take it off this topic.
They went as an infant, whereas the other one was like, hey, they went when they were 3 years old and they were there
Yeah.
for.
Oh,
yeah.
is that the difference?
It's like
He
tiny.
was raised as a refugee in one of the books. And what's that have to do with the price of tea in China? Like I just
right.
these are human beings. The end of the story. Like stop trying to give them a different name so it's easier for you to be racist and an asshole and not care about human life. These are human beings. They need our help, and it is our human honor and privilege to help them.
Right.
At the end,
And you
like if you're a
sound
good person, help them.
you sound very nice. I'll take the opposite direction, which is. Could you bring up the text again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to read the precise wording. Our ancestors settled on undeveloped land and built a civilization. There's like 3 things there. One is there's like this dog whistle with white supremacists that like white people are the ones are the only humans to build civilization, which is factually untrue. So I just want to point that out. Undeveloped is a loaded word. But obviously, the whole thing that's missing is there were already people here. There were people who there were already people who had families and culture. And
I thought Pocahontas was just a story by Disney.
They lived on U.S. soil before the white people came over here.
We paid them adequately.
But didn't God do his best to like wipe them out with illnesses? Or did we
Yeah,
do that with blankets? I'm sorry.
Some would say that.
Ingenuity.
So yeah, this is my problem whenever I see like a post from a conservative type person or when they're responding to something is they always seem to leave out something that's like super duper obvious, and I don't think I'm not
Critical.
saying that in like a pedantic way. It's just like we know what a Native American is.
Correct.
If you say an Indian, there's like an 80% chance that you're actually referring to the indigenous people of America.
Yeah.
So
This
it,
is the same culture. Like, it's just funny because I always hear, people like, I'm like 3/4, like Cherokee. I'm like, you're a pretendian or whatever they call, like
I haven't heard that one.
pretendian.
But
Yeah.
like even in that post it says something about like learning the history. Hey, guess what? That is part of the history.
Yeah. Like,
It's the history that they want you
not
to
only
learn. That's
history,
the only
like,
history they
it's,
want you to learn. Like, it's the history that makes them look better and that helps define their viewpoint.
and I feel like and not to get too in the weeds about it, but like when we use the word history, like history is supposed to be the study of the written languages, and it is written word of, and that's how we get history. It's when it becomes archaeology is like it wasn't written down,
Right.
but we can make assertions and things like that. We
Mm.
we can assert ideas. Um, and not to say that history is a loaded word, but like I feel like so yeah, white people came out and the Pilgrims and no,
Puritans.
I mix them up. Even though I read a whole book on the difference between them, they wrote a lot. They were very, for lack of better terms, wordy people. They were well educated and they wrote a lot, and they thought that what they were doing was going to be historic, and rightfully so, apparently. There's not a whole lot of written words from these indigenous cultures prior to. A lot of it's oral history until it was written down. So, like, when people say learn your history, I'm like, okay, there was things happening before quote unquote history too.
Right.
Like, and just because you don't have a written documentation, there's no written receipt, that clay bowl over there says differently. Those
Mhm.
arrowheads say differently. There were people here doing their own, lives and commerce and things of that nature, and committing their own, royalties and glory and sin.
Yeah, not to get too anthropology with it, but like all of human cultures had some sort of like oral tradition in terms of storytelling, and there's so much we can't possibly imagine that's lost to time because it just wasn't written down.
Correct.
But I do have a book,
Show me. I love
Native
a book.
American Indian Myths and Legends, where
Sweet.
it's a compilation of Native American myths that got written down. But
I would.
that
You need to send me that later.
okay.
Yeah, I would be appreciative. And I mean, if we could push this whole a little bit further and be an asshole, but I mean, we're we're white people. We're gonna make fun of white people.
Oh yeah, that's totally allowed.
The history and mythologies of a lot of white people, Norse mythology, we only have a very iceberg, very tippy top of the iceberg knowledge of those
Oh, it's
mythologies.
Kyle.
And because it wasn't written down, it wasn't history. It was just oral stuff that people
Definitely a
passed down,
bad echo going
and it
on though
wasn't
now.
written down until Christianity started swooping in and taking away, quote unquote, white people's history.
That's true.
So.
one
Is
of my
there an
Kyle,
friends.
hello.
Do we got an echo now? I don't hear an echo anymore. Did anybody else hear an
No,
echo?
he got rid of it.
One of my friends pointed out that Christopher Columbus was the first white man.
Yeah, could be true. Kyle, thanks for joining us. We're doing a little segment that I'm calling. What am I calling this again? I forgot.
Boomers.
Boomer help.
Helping the boomers. Helping the boomers. In which case, I screenshotted a couple boomers' Facebook posts and I took their names out. And
Nice.
I'm now sharing it for us to critique. And the first one was about 4th of July, American, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
Stuff. But instead of going back into that, because
Next
of time
one.
and everything, we're going to go to the next one, which will flow into the topic that I wanted to kind of delve a little bit deeper into today. And that is, this is what she wrote. Beware. Socialism isn't just another way to do life. Socialism leads to communism. Communism leads to bondage, starvation, destruction, torture, and finally to death. Ask those who have come out of it. Ma'am, Donnie is not only a danger to New York, but to our country. So that was a direct.
But did you die though?
It's a pretty cat, though. I like the cat.
Yeah, it's a cool cat. Cool cat.
Oh man.
I went back and looked when I went to go find that post to screenshot it. This lady had posted this. She posted the same post. She reposted it like 6 different times over a 2-week period. Like every 3 days, she would repost it. Because I would go
Yeah.
back and look at the comments because I get a chuckle out of reading the boomers responding to other boomers. And it was always different comments. And I realized that finally, I'm like, that's because this was just posted today when the one I saw 3 days ago, she just reposts. She reuses the same stuff and just does it again. So interesting.
That's not a
lady.
joking matter. She might have like dementia or something.
Well,
Yeah. We shouldn't
I
laugh at
won't
that.
go there, but maybe selective dementia. So,
But
yeah.
We take it at face value. Go,
any
Kyle.
any responses immediately to just that post?
So, one subreddit that I'm a part of is called Socialism is Capitalism. And it's basically like posts like you just put
Like
up
that right there.
where someone has no idea what socialism is, but hopefully, the stuff that gets a lot of upvotes on this is they basically describe capitalism and how in their words, they're like, socialism is bad because, and then they just describe capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
That makes
And
sense.
then
Yeah.
that gets
That happens a lot.
screenshotted, and then everyone's like, hell yeah, dude.
I was like, Kyle posted one about 5 days ago that I actually had pulled up right here on my phone. That was going to be my next screenshot. To
Okay.
go. But then Kyle came on. I was
Let's
like,
do it,
never mind.
Kyle.
I'm not going to throw his screenshot up there. But
Nah, you can totally do it. I don't even remember. I've reposted so many things at this point.
it was the Newt Gingrich saying socialism takes power from you.
Yeah.
They take care of the powerful. They take care of the guys with connections. And they rip off the rest of us. And your comment at the top was, every time they try to define socialism, they end up describing capitalism, which is exactly what
yes.
JC just said. So
Wow. Look at you.
verbatim.
They
JC
literally
and
that.
Kyle.
they also really like AI generated images.
Yes.
No.
Boomers?
Yeah, I'm suspicious of the one
Boy.
that you put up with the
Guilty.
leopard because
The leopard's
what,
not real.
Yeah,
It's
what the
not
fuck
real
was
at
the
all.
leopard standing on? Like
on a
that just looked
reflective
like
pool.
bullshit.
On a reflected pool. Don't worry about what the panther is standing on.
What the fuck is it on?
That's definitely AI, dude.
He's getting ready to pounce on some
That's AI's
communism.
best work.
So our next help boomers is it should be a whole section about how to detect AI generated images.
That's not a bad idea.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
we laugh at it, but that's not really a bad idea at all.
Yeah. Yeah,
This-
Josh, I wanted to say one thing about that. Every time I see somebody post something like that, it's like the idea that we're ascribing a moral value to like I think most people would say like is like the reason that communism exists like has a moral foundation. Like
Right.
there are reasons to believe like this capitalism is not good for everyone. It does this, that, and the other bad, and so therefore we should do and focus on these things instead for the collective good and whatnot. And just like as as principles, it's like yeah, all of those things are good things, but that the people in our orbit, so like where I live, they always ascribe a negative moral value. Like they would describe communism as evil, like as a system, as opposed to like a just another system that has done bad things as
Correct.
well. Because like you could say countless things about capitalism and like the ways that capitalism has killed people, has caused colonialism the world over, and is responsible for millions of
Responsible
deaths.
for destroying all of actual, moving socialist programs in countries.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
mean, indirectly, probably also responsible for destroying much of the planet and its wildlife and its
the six
habitability,
extinguishes. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because it's just a continuous pursuit of profit.
Profit.
Like,
Feed me.
that's
Yeah,
the engine that drives it. And like, I'm not even trying to ascribe a moral value to any of those things. Like, I'm just talking about like the general, like, underpinnings of the system,
paper facts. Yeah,
the economic system. And
Correct.
so, like, that communism has become like or is becoming once again like the boogeyman to many people on the right is like I don't know exactly what's going on there yet, but it's
yeah.
weird and it's
They
off.
they keep losing the scapegoat, so they have to find a new one or
Right.
reinterpret a new one or old one.
And they are starting to feel a threat to their power
Yeah.
from a
So
movement that is still relatively small in the States with democratic socialism and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Mondani
it
stuff.
is a
But
growing
it is a
church.
threat that they see and they have to
I,
attack it.
I know it's socialism light, dude. Don't worry about it.
I,
Don't read too much into it, but
I'm
they read a lot into it.
I'm scrolling on the socialism is capitalism, and someone tweeted the U.S. quite literally did fund commie regimes all across Latin America.
Yeah, that's not a that's that's not fake news. That's not fairy tale. Like they and it was strategic. Like I don't care who the fuck you are. I need you to be in opposition to whoever is in power.
Yeah.
Like
Correct.
like
Right, but what
in
I'm saying is this person is putting down is like communism is bad. America funded communism.
It's like
well,
we also capitalism funded authoritarianism throughout South America. I think
But
that's the comparison.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah, and
but you're nodding your head. Like
yeah. It just feels like American history, dude.
what?
Like that's not like. Of course they did that. Like I
Funded?
mean, yeah.
Like put in
Well,
governments
how
and
how do you mean?
Like
Well,
whenever like any government, it doesn't matter where, but definitely happened a lot in South America. Whenever an established government wasn't really in line with whatever United States were trying to do as far as their natural resources were, they would bully their way into finding an opposition or
yeah.
creating an opposition. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it was. They would just push an opposition. And a lot of times at that time, anti-imperialism was communism because a lot of these countries were either still under Spanish rule or about deciding they were done with Spanish rule, but they had a strong elitist um, oligarchy systems in South America at the time. They would, you know, the United States government would push any opposition. And again, it was usually a populist communist agenda that sold well to the masses because, yeah, the idea of socialism isn't a bad idea. It sounds good on paper and it probably would work if we let it actually, you know, but as soon as it starts to work and, the people that were in power, the communists, said, you know what, thanks for everything you did. Thanks for the money, but we're still going to do our own thing. We're a sovereign nation. And then America said, no, fuck you,
Right.
communists.
Right.
It happened over and over
So
again.
I'm
It
curious.
started with the Panama Canal.
So I'm curious what your examples are, because my understanding of specifically with South America was that someone would get elected or there would be a revolution that was communist in nature, and immediately the U.S. backed either coups or directly invaded, whether it was what?
And I don't have specifics, but from what I gather, it didn't matter as long as there was infighting and whoever came out on top was pro United States.
Yes.
And like the imperialists were not pro United States, so they backed communists. And then the communists were like, thanks for the money, but we're still going to do what's best for our country. We're for the people. And, the United States were like, well, we don't fucking want that either. So they would.
Wait, so you're saying that
We spent a lot of money
there are
pissing off
some
people.
countries where the U.S. did back communists, and then we're surprised when the communists were not pro, like, imperialist
Yes.
extraction.
I would love to have the specifics, and I will do my best.
I can
Okay.
give you some key examples here. The United States sponsored and provided significant aid to several communist countries, primarily during the Cold War. Yugoslavia being one. In 1948, President Harry Truman requested massive military aid and economic aid to the communist nation to help break away from the Soviet, I guess.
Yeah. This is not my cause at all.
In China, I'm reading these as, coming together.
I feel like it might be wrong.
In the wake of the Sino-Soviet split, the Nixon administration opened diplomatic channels with Beijing in the 1970s. To counter the Soviet Union, the U.S. facilitated intelligence sharing, eased trade restrictions, and later provided access to dual-use military technologies, helping bootstrap China's economic and military modernization. This was in the 70s. Romania. So again, breaking off from the Soviet Union, but in 1975, Cambodia.
Wait.
Obviously, before
I think I was reading about Cambodia recently.
The Cold War, the Soviet Union, we worked hand in hand with to fight Nazi Germany.
Right. Yeah.
So
anything in South American coups.
Well, I mean, what I was referencing is like Chile, Venezuela, Cuba, obviously.
Cuba, what's that?
But all those, like, either a communist was elected or they had a revolution, and the U.S., they, as socialists or communists, they nationalized the resources, cutting off American capitalists, which immediately the U.S. had to get involved.
What? Iran or one of those countries in the Middle East.
Well, Iran is one that we did when they tried to nationalize their oil.
Yeah.
We, with the assistance of Great Britain.
Also why we invaded Iraq the first time. Because
Wouldn't it be easier to buy the oil from them?
Well, so Saddam
Like, it
Hussein,
feels like it would be cheaper.
Saddam Hussein, the
BP
U.S.
didn't
put
agree.
into power, and he was doing everything that the U.S. wanted them to, and then he decided, or they decided, that they were going to nationalize the oil, and that's when the first Desert Storm happened. You know,
Yeah.
Shit.
you saw that?
Is your
You
cat
didn't
okay?
quite make it, big girl. So
I missed it. Oh well. I'll see
Let's
it in
go
the
to the
replay.
podcast now. It's gonna be our logo.
it's
Cat
Saddam
not making
Hussein.
it.
Yeah, so like, Saddam Hussein was like a strong leader or whatever, and then as soon as he nationalized everything, it had to become an enemy. Suddenly, he's a dictator.
And he probably
But
wasn't
yeah.
a good guy to begin with.
No, he wasn't a great
We're
guy.
just gonna
No.
say.
Let's
Absolutely
be
not.
honest.
He never was. But
When the shoe's on the other foot.
yeah, I guess we should get back on topic.
Yeah, what's our topic again? Boomers.
Boomers.
So, topic?
Boomers talking about socialism leads to communism, and communism, it kills you. It murders you. And that whole mindset of just those words mean bad things. Because yes, I agree with Kyle. I grew up and was surrounded by people and was told, hey, communist countries, Russia, China, they killed millions. That's what communism is. Communism is just debt. It's killed people. That's
we
all
didn't
you
have a
that's
word for it back then.
communism.
Isn't communism basically what the Apostle Paul was preaching for?
Well, that has been my current path of walking down and exploring is I've always, when I was a kid, or a teenager, I always, when I was especially reading the New Testament, Acts, and when they would describe the early church, a communal living and bringing all their stuff together, I always, once I started learning a little bit more about socialism, what I was told it was and stuff, I was like, that sounds a lot like socialism,
Yeah.
and that the mindset anyway of, hey, we share everything, we work for the common good. It's not one person lording over everybody else and dictating. And so that kind of was my first awakening to what
And this-
I'm reading isn't lining up with what the school system, which was my parents, because I was homeschooled. So my pastor and my school teacher were saying two different things, and yet it was the same person. It didn't make sense.
So, and this is not me being a snarky asshole.
But you will.
Is there? Yeah, I usually am. Is there a reconciliation between the ideas that, like, because from what I gather, what I have read of Paul, like it feels very close or akin to almost straight up communism, if not just socialism. How you reckon that with, it's evil, what we understand communism today. Is there are there mental gymnastics that do happen, or do we just
Well, that was
we
just
don't
two or
read
three
that part,
verses,
or
and
what?
you ignore that. Kind of like the
We
whole
ignore it.
don't wear jewelry and don't women.
So okay. I
Yeah.
just didn't know. Like it's just very intriguing. to
Kyle
me.
would be
Like,
the better
we
one to
would
answer
throw
that
this
because he's
book
more
out
into it
there as
right
the
now.
judgment of all, and then we seem to ignore literally all the red parts that the savior main character said, and then we throw up anything that supports it from the older people or Paul.
Yeah, living with parents who probably would say that communism is evil, even if it was just off the cuff, and like if I really drilled down into it, they'd be like, okay, maybe it's not evil, but like
Correct.
it's not good. But like the way that it was, I guess, always talked about in school when you would read, the words of Jesus and the Old Testament. I mean, not the Old Testament, New Testament, Paul. Is that like yeah, we should be giving to the poor, and we should be taking care of our neighbors, and we should be doing all of the things that he says. But it's like the off ramp for them was always like, we should do those things. Like, it shouldn't be the government doing those things. The government is evil and bad, and like the government shouldn't force us to do these things. We should just do these things. And that was always the off ramp, like
Correct.
my entire
Yeah.
life.
That's a fair off ramp, I guess, if you're in a monarchy or something else like that. But I mean,
It's a
our
super
government's our government, like we plainly say, we the people. Like
right.
that's like one of our founding things. Like we the
Yeah.
people. So
It would
we
be,
are the government. So
yeah.
we are
Yeah.
supposed to do all those things that you mentioned.
It would be interesting to delve
I-
into, not today, but to figure out where in the history did that stop? Because I do believe that for a lot of history, and Christianity, it was taught a more socialist, communist theme of giving and stuff like that, and it really wasn't until capitalism and almost American patriotism psyoped religion and Christianity.
To some extent, but I saw Kyle make a face, and I wonder if he's thinking the same thing that I am. When it became more institutionalized and like the Roman Catholic or the
Very
Holy
much
Roman Empire.
correct. Very much so, even in that sense too.
Yeah.
For the American side of it, I'm going to say the capitalistic part, because obviously Roman Catholicism, all that.
There's a weird relationship between Christianity and those that have power.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think that like communism is like a relatively, along with democracy, is like a relatively new form of political think. It's a relatively new political system. And so like I was trying to think of yeah, y'all keep going. I'll try to gather my thought on that.
Yeah.
Can
I
I?
mean, we don't have
Go
the
ahead.
language for a lot of these. Like these are relatively new words. I mean, like I said, Paul didn't have a word for communism, but I mean, he pretty much describes it when he says it. Yeah, like we're gonna pool our resources. The people with the haves are selling their earthly goods to help the
Yeah.
community. Like, I mean,
I think I
yes, the
remember.
terms are, I feel like, are new, and
Yeah, they only had
not to go on a
monarchies back
side
then,
tangent,
so
but like language does matter, and like if you don't have the word for it, it kind of doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I could go into the black dress, blue dress, you know, I went down a rabbit hole with that, and it really took me into language.
oh, the good old days.
Yeah. But just because we don't have a word for it doesn't mean it wasn't being described. Um,
Yeah. I
and yeah,
Sorry, I was
you
just gonna
found your
say
words.
I remembered my thought, and the reason that I think communism in the U.S. specifically, and especially in the South and like the super religious Protestant South, is that communism has been like, or was the boogeyman of the political world that we lived in for
Yeah.
50, 60, 70 years. And so like all of our parents and our grandparents grew up as thinking that the Soviets and communism were out to get us, and
Yeah.
were, even if all of this stuff was not actually true, like what they believed was that the communists were out to get us, and that they were atheistic, which there is truth to that, but that they hated God, and that they were killing all of these people and, doing all sorts of bad things. Like the general vibe that they were taught was communism is bad, democracy good, Christianity good, communism evil. And like the way that like the lines blurred there between political speak and religious speak, I think is one of the big problems that I run into in having these discussions with my parents or other people in my orbit,
Yeah.
is that the line between those two things has been conflated for so long that it's like you really do have to slowly untangle the web of those things to actually have a conversation with people like, my parents or other conservatives. It's like, what are we like? Are we defining these terms correctly? Like, do we have a baseline understanding of like, okay, this is a religious sentiment, this is a political sentiment, this is a religious system, this is a political system. Like, to me, all of those lines have been blurred in our political discussions in America.
I don't know if it was communism itself. It's been a while since I read the Communist Manifesto, or if it was just Soviet communism. But they really gifted um, the American government when they instilled the idea of, you know, being a religious and this atheist. And you really, it's an easy sell. They're like, they're atheists and bad. It's atheist and
Right.
like, and I'm not here to say that atheism is good or bad, but I understand how that's easy to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I got 2 points. One is there's a YouTube video. I think it's called like institutional fetishism or something like that.
What
And
a
so
name. I don't need that on my search history.
So what he
I'm-
talks about is
Spicy.
the conflation in our minds of like an abstract idea and an institution. Like if I say US Congress and in your head you think democracy,
Oh, I think baboons, but continue.
but
Baboons, like Congress of baboons.
what the fuck? So
Yeah.
there's the
Nick, you
US
shouldn't have threw him
Congress
off.
and there's democracy. One's an institution, one is an abstract concept.
Yeah.
The abstract concept can be found elsewhere and perhaps even in better or more pure quantities. But as Americans, those two things are conflated in our minds. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's I feel like Kyle was like kind of touching on that, and I find that concept fucking fascinating.
Definitely.
Because you don't even realize it until it's pointed out, and then you're like, oh,
I'm gonna try to
we
read
do
this
that all the
book
time.
soon. It's called John Wayne and Jesus Christ or something like that. I'll post it when I get a chance.
I was told
And
to
apparently it's
read
a
that.
really good read, and it's basically how the society that we kind of have now was sold to these, these guys that came back from World War II, and they just fought one war. They didn't want to fight another, and there's this big bad communism, and the alpha male was basically started with with these ideals of communism bad, John Wayne good. And John Wayne and Jesus Christ were kind of linked together somehow, which I
Yeah.
can't think of two individuals that further apart, honestly.
And to go back to, you were like, yeah, a lot of people don't even know the definitions of these words. So
Yeah.
should I just give my
Do it.
definition?
Do it.
Hell
Do
yeah.
it, JC.
Are
So
we gonna change his
that
voice
was the
for this?
critique I got is that people don't understand what the hell we're
So-
talking about.
I'm gonna try not to go back too far, but the way that political systems are structured is around who controls like the land and the things that make products, right? So we had feudalism. That was the king owns the land, which makes the food, and that's how they make money or make their wealth. Then came capitalism. I think we all know what that is. You make profit. you hire other
You
people
make things
who
out of
make
raw
stuff,
materials, and then
and then you sell that and you take the money and then you give a little bit of a wage to the people who actually made the shit. So socialism is the workers, the aforementioned people who make the shit. Not only do they run the companies in which they work, but also they hold political power. Now, that's kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the very beginning about like the kind of ideals of America. Saying that America is an ideal democracy, I think is obviously untrue. Just go to any county board of commissioners meeting, have fun. But if, as workers, which is, majority of us,
I mean, either you're
98%.
making the product or you're extracting the material for the
Yeah.
manufacturing of the product, or you're providing the service in
Yeah.
which it's like these are all quote unquote workers, and these are all people in socialism and in communism who deserve and have the right to have a say in how these goods and services are, one, produced, two, extracted, and three, sold.
Yeah. And our opinions should be important. And currently, our government is run by capitalists.
Where
And
it's one person makes all these decisions, or maybe a board of
right.
people
When it comes
decisions for
when
all of these workers.
when it comes to the state, it's like all the laws protect capital, protects the things that make money, or perpetuates it.
Perpetuates the growth of money, not the people that make the money, not the things that make the money. It's simply the money and who will push money the furthest, I guess.
And
whether that's at the expense of the materials or the people, that doesn't matter.
And one of the reasons why I think we should switch to socialism, which is again, the workers are collectively own the companies and also have political power. I think one of, at least to me, one of the most important reasons is because our environment is kind of falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
Man-made climate change is real. It is causing more and more ecological disasters.
Yeah, it's not a
And
discussion.
it is not profitable to fix any of those. Therefore, capitalism will not
Will
fix.
ignore it.
They'll completely ignore it. They'll continue to extract,
They'll move
even
to
if
the
that
next
means
thing.
even if that means poisoning the environment, poisoning our waters, etc. So just for me, that's one of like the biggest reasons for socialism is the planet on which we live kind of depends on us being more minded towards longevity.
Yeah,
Right?
I want a more
if-
educated socialist democracy. I mean, it's just, I know it sounds crazy. I want education, people of the system making the choices.
Yeah, and so I'll just finish
finish your thought.
The definition real quick, which is okay. So that's socialism, right? The state is controlled by the people. Communism is like the next step. The idea of communism is essentially like we have, together we have figured out how to run everything, and then the state withers away. That can't really happen until there are no
So
other
nationalism,
states.
tribalism is not a factor. Yeah.
Right. And so that's, I'm going to be flat out honest. that ain't gonna happen. Certainly not in my lifetime. So
tribalism's a thing.
Correct.
I mean, the us versus them has served humanity very well and perpetuated itself for millennia. And it's, I don't want to say it's hardwired, but it's definitely kind of something that's uploaded into us, pretty early.
yeah.
So the idea that tribalism is not going to be a thing, aka nationalism,
Mm-hmm.
that's a pipe dream that, I mean, it would be awesome, but it's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
I mean,
I wish tribalism was just sports, but it's not.
good luck to the future communists, but like socialism is quite practicable and very possible. Obviously, we've seen in New York, there's kind of been a swing towards the DSA, the Democratic Socialists. And it's like, it's funny to see. I think we talked about this last time. It's funny to see Fox News in different places that are like trying to talk down to, or like, they're like, wow, these policies are so dumb and bad. And then they read them and it's like, bro, that's fire. Like,
yeah, there was
everyone wants those things. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
There's a Instagram, and it had Mike Johnson reading out the agenda.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like all those
Well,
things.
How are you calling this as absurd? Like
the
the
argument,
idea that it's not the thing is kind of absurd.
What is
the
argument?
argument that I see amongst the boomers. Now, again, I understand that a lot of the kickback and the attacks that I see on socialism, communism, those ideals are from, for instance, not using the person's name, but the person who did that post is a 60-year-old woman who's never worked a day in her life because her husband is a real estate mogul in California, and they've been they're a homeschool family who had 5 kids and grandchildren. So it's that whole generational of, nothing hurts them. So when you say those ideas of free health care and free this and free that, people want that, they look at that and they go, no, we don't want that, because that's going to make people lazy. That's going to make people not want to do this and that.
And my taxes are going to go up.
Correct. When reality is, the reason why they don't want it is because they've never needed anything in their life, because they've always had it. Some of it through their own hard work at some point in time, possibly. Could also been a grandfather down the line who gave him $1 million starting fee. Who knows?
That does help.
Yes.
I've been told.
But, a lot of the people that are against it and don't want those things, who again hear those statements of this and they go, and you're like, why would you say you don't want that? They don't, because they already have.
Right. But I was going to say, they want access to health care.
I mean, that's the number one reason why, Americans go into bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, like you said, they already have it. And then, the counter argument is like, okay, well, shouldn't everyone have access to health care?
So is it changing the mindset of those people? Excuse you. Is it changing the mindset of those people on, say, again, kind of like you said, the wording? Like, is it, hey, let's now define what is lazy? Lazy isn't wanting free health care.
That might be, maybe not 100%, but the left has a terrible branding system. Like the right,
Yes.
it seems to do branding very well. Like pro-choice, yeah, it's a good idea. Pro-life, nobody's anti-life unless they're, we're gonna murder them in death row. But that's not the point. Like the left has a branding problem,
Right?
Fucking sure.
They're too nuanced.
They need to find. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like that, when things actually need to get done, work needs to happen. Nuance is necessary, but when it comes to selling things,
when it comes to advertising,
blunt
That's capitalistic
even
motivation.
if it's not right.
just fucking lie and make it sound
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then here I am teaching my daughter. You see how they use a
How they
special
sold you
word
on
there
that?
so they didn't get sued later because they were too blunt there.
Right.
You get so yeah, branding's a problem.
Okay. How
I mean, we can't just
does?
say Jesus is a communist. You know,
Go
it's
ahead,
easy to
JC. You're
say.
about to say
Well,
something.
I mean, each individual person's going to have their own set of hangups and things that they don't like about it. And if this lady you're referring to, I mean, of course, she would prefer capitalism if her entire lifestyle was funded by someone who owned a bunch of real estate. Because, right off the rip, you can look at real estate and look at the number of homeless people and how expensive it is to live. And obviously, if you're not struggling with that, that's not a problem that you have. Congratulations. But for the majority of us, it's a problem. And it's not something that capitalism can fix because it's profitable, right? It is profitable to have a high demand of housing. It is profitable for this shit to just be really expensive and it to be barely affordable and to be more than 50% of our paychecks, whereas in other countries it's like capped at like 10 or 15% of your paycheck. So yeah, it's unfortunate that you'd have to kind of lay out like, hey, so the fact that you own, let's just make up a number. You own 450 properties. Let's say single family homes. How many of them do you live in? Like maybe 3? You have like your house and like 2 vacation
You have
houses.
one and you visit 2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You have one and you visit 2. So what are you doing with the other? What number did I say? 450?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 4.
Anywhere between
43.
300 and 400 houses. That is a lot of capital. But like, what about everyone else? And you could say, oh, I worked really hard for it. I don't know. Did you build all those houses yourself? No, you fucking did it. So
Yeah, you probably had some of those migrants that you were complaining about in the other fucking post. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's true. Was the same person who posted both.
Wasn't the same person.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I get all mine from her.
But
Jeez.
yeah, they're gonna be real salty
real
when I'm like, okay, so I want to make another clarifying definition that a lot of people do not know. Okay, so one counter argument to socialism is that they're going to take away your private property, right? Y'all have heard that.
You own nothing.
Yep.
Your house, your car, your couch is personal property. That is not private property. When we talk about private and public, we're talking about the means of production. We're talking about the things that produce things or allow you to do services.
Sure.
Is it publicly owned collectively, or does one person control it and like rent it out for other people to use? That's private property. So this person with their $300-$400 portfolio of houses, they have a couple of personal properties, and then the stuff that they rent is private property.
Private.
Because they are making a profit off of it.
Sure.
And, the fact that they are capitalists and they own capital, yeah, you're going to lose that capital, like straight up, because other people need somewhere to live. And that's just a fact of like human existence, is that we need shelter from the outside.
Is that part of the life, liberty, or pursuit of happiness?
So why is something that's necessary to human life something that you can like hoard and make money off of?
Monetize. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is an intriguing thought. Like, it would be interesting to see where that, like, if somebody wrote a book about that, and maybe there has, and then somebody could send me that link, of the history of private property. Like, because it is an interesting idea. Like, I mean, we had a community, I'm not saying theoretically, everybody was taken care of, and we take care of the community. But at some point, somebody's like, no, that's my other cave.
Yeah.
If you give me some corn, I'll let you sleep in that cave. Like, it would be funny to see
I
that.
mean, have
I'm
you
sorry.
read Marx's Capital? I'm sure that's in there.
You know what? It's been a minute, so I've got it somewhere around here.
Yeah, I didn't go back past feudalism, but I'm sure that's in one of Marx's books. I don't know which one it is.
You get me more
I've
prepared,
only read the
comrade.
like little pamphlets. I think
Me too.
I think Capital is like a 3-volume book, and it's probably over 1,000 pages, if I had to guess.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I got
One thought that I've like, if I was ever in a room with these people and they would actually give me straight answers, I would love to ask is like people like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg or, you name it, billionaire, or even Donald Trump for that matter, like many politicians, I'd like to ask the question to. It's like, what kind of society or like, if you could design a society, what would that society look like? Like, would
Without you in it. Like, if you took
even that,
your
yeah,
ego out of it, yeah,
like
I'd like to see it without you or anything you cared about.
would in your society that you design, would everyone be able to afford homes? Would everybody have homes? So like if I'm asking somebody like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, I'm very curious what their answer to that
Yeah.
would be. Like, should everybody be able to afford to own a home? Or does the only people that gets to own a home are, the privileged few? Because I mean, like, the way that the housing market is now, like, it's bonkers compared to what it was in like America's most prosperous years. And so it's like, yeah, you used to be able to, sell shoes at Dillard's or whatever and be able to afford a 2-story house in the suburbs and be fine. Like you're not, amazing, but like you're doing just
You're
fine.
okay.
You have all the stuff that you need. Like your kids aren't going hungry. You have a good house in a good neighborhood. The schools are good.
Yeah.
Like you can take a week-long vacation somewhere, in the mountains once a year or whatever. And it's like nowadays, like if I tried to buy my house today, as opposed to in 2020, whenever I bought it, like, I don't even know if I could afford it, like the monthly payment, because of how much properties have appreciated and how much the interest rates have changed. It's insane.
So I look through houses as my job, and I like made the observation to my boss that there are houses that cost more than my house did in 2018, and they are completely unlivable.
Yeah.
You could not live in it.
Yeah.
Literally.
And how did he take that?
It's
Oh,
crazy.
he fired you right after.
He's like, oh yeah, prices are higher. And I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. But I there were two things I wanted to extrapolate on. One of them, I can't remember, but the other one is, so it's interesting that you brought up the person on your Facebook feed who owns capital, because yeah, they're going to be a capitalist because they have capital and they profit from it.
Strong capital.
It's sad though, the people who are super duper pro capitalism and they rent everything,
They're being
and
pushed down by it.
I mean, but
work for a
that's the
wage.
system teaching the poor to stay poor.
Right. It's like you do not benefit from the system. at all.
It's
It actively hurts you.
we all have the pipe dream. I say we all have the pipe dream that, well, one day I'm going to be rich and I'm going to make it. And I want that to be there for me.
One day I'll be a class trader.
Someone
So
said that
such a
America
lack
is
of
the only
imagination than
country full of
insane real
millionaires that haven't made
imagination.
it yet.
Yeah.
Literally.
Okay, so that kind of
Repeat that.
ties.
America is the only country where everyone is a millionaire that just hasn't made it yet.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That's
I've heard that once.
dream that
That's-
we've sold everybody.
Every Republican, every conservative person that I know is basically that.
Yeah, and when you look at a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, do you think that they work a billion times harder than you do?
No.
You know, you say that
we
they
have our
earned.
world's first trillionaire.
You say that they earned. You can't even fathom what a trillion is, first of all. But
Yeah.
even just a millionaire,
Mhm.
have they
They work harder than you.
Have they worked 10 to 100,000 times harder than you? They
The answer is
definitely
no.
haven't worked 10 to 100,000 more hours than you. Do they really work harder, especially if you do like a physical labor job, if you work in construction or fabrication, what a fucking oil rig? Like, no, they don't work harder than you.
Or just fucking childcare or being a fucking teacher. I'm sorry. Like these are
No, that's
Unnerves.
super fair. That's super fair.
no, did you see in the news the other day I saw he didn't make the comment, but he agreed with the comment. It came out that Jeff Bezos' ex-wife is, giving a bunch of fucking money.
Correct. Yeah,
And she's doing a kick-ass job. And somebody said it's bad for the world. And our musky friend decided to say, yeah, it is bad for the world. And then he continued to say, it's hard to give money. I don't know is what he was trying to say. Like,
he
you're
was on
always gonna
ketamine
get, like,
when he said
Where
that.
are you going with that?
you're damned if you do or you're damned if you don't. I'm assuming that's what he's trying to say. But I'm like, you're the world's first trillionaire, and you're complaining about how hard it is to give money.
Right. That's
Didn't
a problem
you
we
give
all
a
wish we
bunch
had.
of fucking money to the president so you could demolish our federal governing system?
Was it the UN that was like, hey, if we put a plan together, Mr. Musk, where you gave us X amount of money and we showed you how that money would go to ending world hunger, and he was like, yeah, do it and I will fund it. And I'm pretty sure it was hey, you made it up that time. I think it was the UN. They put they put together like a $6 billion plan, handed it to Musk. He didn't do a goddamn thing.
They put it in the wood chipper.
I want you to say $6 billion. It sounds like a lot. Until we start talking about a person that is apparently worth $1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's 1,000 billion, or is that 100 billion? No, it's 1,000.
It doesn't matter when you're
right?
using the word B and he's got a T. He can go fuck himself with how hard it is to give money. I feel like there's a story in the Bible about, Jesus hanging out with the woman that could only give a few fucking pennies rather than the rich fuckers that gave a bunch.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a thing about a camel
It's
can't fit through the eye of the
easier
needle?
for
Yeah.
it's harder for a rich man to make it into heaven than it is for a camel to go through an eye of a needle.
Yeah.
I just think you can't be strictly capitalist and be a follower
what
of Christ.
were we
That's all
talking
I'm
about
saying.
at the
Pull
very
yourself up by your
beginning?
bootstraps.
But they're like ideals and not quite lining up.
Yeah.
Keeps happening. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I'm not a perfect man, but I feel like these are giant blind spots, if nothing else.
Yeah. And it's also funny to me that, like, even if you went to Elon and, like, especially if it was, like, in public and you're like, Elon, you're a trillionaire, you should do this, that, and the other. Like, the argument is always just like, well, I don't like have that money in my bank account. Like I don't get paid anything from the blah blah blah. Like I would have to like sell shares in order to
Well,
get
then
that
do it.
money. And then like they always try to act like that they don't actually have the thing that
thing.
they
I
say
don't
that they
care.
have and that the paper says that they have.
Right.
And it's
Then you'd have leverage economy and not even
Mhm.
capitalism. So
yeah.
then use your fucking leverage. I'm sorry. Like, no, I'm an asshole. I'm gonna be an asshole. Either you're one or the other. Like, you got the fucking money
Yeah,
and you bow up about it all the fucking time and you can help somebody, or you don't and you're a fucking idiot and you're a poser. One or the other.
literally.
I don't have the fucking money.
The money is made up and the numbers don't matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
Great
always,
show.
always
Well,
on like on their tax bill, they're like made no money this year, took no income this year.
Actually, I lost money because I invested it in
Right.
myself.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I sold shares that were at a loss this year, but like what
Yeah.
they all do is like they, go to the bank and they take out, a loan with their shares as collateral. And so they're living off of debt on paper where
Correct.
it's all
Like,
just a
you and I
game.
can't do that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we
it's
live
just a
off
tax game.
debt. It's just
we
constantly more
we
debt.
be in debt though.
Yes.
Yeah, our debt is just different debt.
Yes, it's a different type of debt.
There
It's
was
not
a-
collateralized.
Yeah, we couldn't possibly pay it off.
There's a woman on
Exactly.
Instagram who usually she has these little things she just throws out a random thing, and one of them was, um, w- name me one thing that's different. Like if you said it's different between a rich person and a poor person, and one of them was debt. One of them was a car that stops at a stoplight. Things like just random things.
Yeah,
But the debt one got me. I'm like, yeah,
the debt.
they they get away with being in debt, quote unquote.
Mm, yeah. Hopefully, like if you actually had this conversation with like any person that wasn't trying to bullshit you,
Mm-hmm.
be it conservative or otherwise, you should be able to have that conversation and be like, is this good? Like, is this how it should be? Like, is this, I guess one question would be, should any one person have enough money that they could essentially buy every race for Congress and the Senate if they chose to do that with their money? Like, should anybody have like, as part of like our social contract, should we allow that kind of influence to be wielded by any person in our society? Like, and I feel like surely, and
The answer
maybe
gotta be no,
I'd be
right?
wrong, but I'm like, surely any thinking person would be like, that is probably not a good thing.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could be a dick and be like, if there was one liberal, just one, just raging fucking liberal, and he had all the wealth in the world, and he could buy any and all representative seats, would you let that happen? Like, would that be a good idea?
Right. And the answer would be an absolute no.
No.
Okay,
Every
so
time.
how is it good the other way?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like I think both, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that. I know the Democrats at least pay lip service to the idea that Citizens United being overturned was a
Mhm.
bad thing and that the amount of money in politics is bad. I've heard some people on the conservative side say that, but like it's not on the tent pole. It's not one of
No.
their stump speech things. Like it is so low on the priority list if it's even there at all. Like it it will never come to pass if it's a Republican led administration and Congress. Like that's never going to reach the floor of the
Okay.
of this.
Yeah, I'm not particularly sure what principles modern Republicans even really stand on. Unfortunately, a
We're
lot
not sure.
I don't think you'll know until another 8
Uh,
years. to see
You
what
let
it
me
is
know.
again.
Whatever
Trump will
Trump
tell me
says.
about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, they could just like own up to being capitalist, but like it's always like kind of something else, and criticisms of it. It would be interesting to have. I think Kyle opened up with like an honest conversation. It would be interesting to have an honest conversation, but
Yeah.
in my experience, there's tactics to shut down the conversation, or it seems like the go-to tactic is whataboutism. What
Yeah.
about your side? What about this? What about that?
Yeah.
And most of the whatabouts are like not even parallel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
A and B, these are two different fruits, my friend.
Yeah, that's been my experience.
Yeah, I have that experience too, and I have to be very particular in my wording. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we've got to answer this part first. Like, I'll be more than
Yeah.
happy to answer your counterexample, but like, I can't move on until like we've nailed down where we are on this first thing. But like, it's a whole process. Like, you can't have like a quick conversation about those
Correct.
kinds
No,
of
because
things.
these things are nuanced. They
Yeah.
take more than a soundbite.
Yeah, which
They
is
take
not the world we
professionals
live in.
and scholars to actually look at, not just somebody that's paid to be a mouthpiece for the fucking cog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What do you think? And I know we get close to wrapping up here, but before we do, what do you think would be the where we currently sit in society and politics today? If a more socialist leaning party kind of all of a sudden came into power tomorrow, what would be the easiest and probably the first thing to benefit society? Would it be universal health care would be the next? You think that next step that we would see, or would it be some sort of housing thing, or what
That's
do
a
you
good question.
like if something was to
Jeez.
happen?
Like the first thing?
The first
Yeah,
thing,
let's just take
first
one.
and fastest thing.
What's
Because, I mean, the most important thing is probably education, but that's not going to be the fastest thing.
No, that'll be a process.
Yeah.
I feel like I have that are conservative that do also think that our healthcare system
Correct.
is shit and doesn't work optimally. Like, they would at least say that. Like,
Yeah.
there's something about our system that does not work and produces worse outcomes than other countries that spend less money on it than we do, and like a large, like 25% portion of our paychecks goes to this thing, and it grows every year. The price of the insurance grows every year. The amount of coverage you get goes down every year. And like, I think they all agree with that. So my hope would be that like healthcare touches every person. And if there's a generalized agreement that the way that healthcare works right now does not work, my hope would be that some sort of universal healthcare would be one of the first things that could potentially pass. Like, it would depend on how it was packaged, but
yeah.
I think you're right. I think, like we mentioned earlier, like healthcare debt is the number one reason why people go bankrupt in this country at this moment. So I think that would touch more people
it's where the money's at.
faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and so the most immediate thing would be if you could take care of people and make them healthy, where they could still have, you know, a reason to be part of a productive society. Yeah, I think that's number one in far as like fastest way
And
to help.
I think I just heard about this. I think it was this week, but Switzerland has a system that it is universal coverage, but it's all private insurance. Like, there's not like a government
Right.
insurance. It's all
Okay.
private. And I was like, if they packaged it like that, I think
The sell could
so
be easier.
many more conservatives would at least listen to the
their ears would
proposal.
do that.
It's like, oh wait, we still purchase private insurance, and like,
Because on
I
a
will ask Tiffany to take a look at that idea.
on a practical level, you got to look at stuff like Social Security. That is a socialist program that has
Yeah.
been in effect for a long time, but people don't acknowledge that. If you're able to get more things like that, baby steps into the system, programs to then say, hey, that word that you fear, socialism, communism, look what it actually is.
Yeah,
and see how
we
it
can
has
look at
helped you.
New York and look
Now
at
that has happened, let's go to the next step.
we can like right this moment see what Mamdani has done, and it's like, we're told that politics moves so slow, and like within a couple weeks he made like a couple big changes. Like, I don't even pay that much attention to it, but I keep seeing headlines of like, Mamdani followed through with what he was saying, and they filled all the potholes, and like,
shovel the snow.
literally.
So the three things I was thinking of is, number one is pull a lot of money out of the military, or stop putting as much into it.
Yeah.
Which seems like a no-brainer.
Which can conveniently fund like literally anything you want to fucking do.
Yeah.
I think, healthcare was probably be the easiest to switch over to actually just providing healthcare for all the citizens.
People would
so
notice
we can
it fastest. Yeah.
Correct.
Notice it the fastest, and also like everything's already there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you don't even have to make like new institutions.
Yeah.
And the third thing that like obviously going to be a process of like switching over, but I think the first thing that should be like invested in and start the momentum toward is switching to more green and renewable energy, because currently our dependence on oil and coal and things that produce a lot of carbon and pollute our air, we should start moving away from that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like the private sector, like if the government didn't get in the way, would be moving that way anyways. Like I stop giving the oil companies these discounts and these tax deductions, and just remove the government hand in helping the bad system already.
It still blows my mind that
capitalism will move that way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, tech is.
It's easier to just put a fucking sun farm than have some other country dig up their own fucking soil and hope that they don't have a regime change.
Yeah, the cheapness and efficiency of like wind and solar just keeps going up.
You have to
and nuclear. You have tidal. You have like there's so many options that people don't think about. There's the geo shit.
Yeah.
Thermal stuff. Like it doesn't have to be just, pussy ass solar farms or big fucking burly rigs in the fucking ocean. Like there are other options.
Yeah, but solar and wind are just the ones that are everywhere, right?
And it is battling the propaganda machine that has been sold to the generations of what is good energy and bad energy. Because I mean, even if I was to sit down with my family and siblings, stuff like that, I could not bring up climate change at the table without an argument being like, "Oh, that's a hoax,"
Right.
Or,
what were you saying about education, Nick?
Energy.
Yeah,
is a hoax.
It needs to happen.
What I do want to say on climate change is, well, at least in 2016, the Republicans used to be like, oh, facts don't care about your feelings, implying that they relied on facts.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a guy who was researching the environment, and he went in with the assumption that there was no man-made, humans don't have an effect on the climate. And then he did his research, and like a good scientist, realized that actually you can map the amount of carbon production and the rise in temperature are like directly correlated
to it.
And so that's an example of someone who believed that it was a hoax, did the legwork, and realized it's not. So you can go find that guy's stuff, and maybe you can do the expensive experiments yourself, or you can look at the facts.
You could trust
Look at the
experts.
facts, everybody. All right. I think we'll probably, unless somebody has really anything important to end on, it's 11:37 for me. And this room has gotten hotter. So
God, that sucks.
But I thought it was real good, guys. I think it was real good today. So everybody else out there, unless again, raise your hand if anybody want to close out on anything. Last point
All
to
good.
say. All right, everybody, hit that subscribe button, follow the channel. We'll do better in the future. We're getting this. We're getting the ship. We're learning. So
Gets better every time.
That's right. All right. Until next time.